ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. My salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, who descended on this earth to establish the Dharma, who is the embodiment of all the world religions, and who is the best among the incarnations. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, we were discussing Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play, the particular chapter on discourse on bhava, samadhi, and darshana. One thing probably I would like to say that this is not a lecture, it is a class rather. Why we are discussing deeply and going with which is linked with the previous classes. Now the question may come for some of you that why do we need all these things? Just maybe devotion or maybe practice, spiritual practice, is it not enough for us to realize God or to reach the God or to experience the God? Yes, it is quite enough, no doubt. But if we can have that type of a simple faith, like God is there, I am there, and by thinking on Him, by meditating on Him, by loving Him, I will be getting emancipation. But it is not true, or it is not possible at all times. Recently, one devotee or a volunteer who is from his young days, he was much attached to our Indian monasteries. Now he's in Ireland only. Unfortunately, he had a very tough time that his wife had miscarriage or whatever. Because of that, he and his wife's faith was shaken. So much so that as a reaction, as it was a temporary reaction, no doubt, as a reaction, his faith in the God was stopped or it was shaken, and he stopped meditation, he was stopped doing prayer, his regular prayers or meditation, and he said, if God exists, and I did so much seva, to the God, but still in spite of that he did this, so I don't want such type of God, and he stopped all the practices, and there was so much pain and agony in him. Then when he came here after a counseling and after talking, then everything was came out. Now again he has come back to his normal path, is continuing his meditation and other things. This is an emotional reaction, temporary emotional reaction, which we can understand. But here, what I understood is understanding God. What is God? Who is God? There was a lacuna in understanding who is God or what is God. That's where probably this emotional reaction was there for him. This is one side. On the lighter side, this is a story which I heard from one of our monk from Brazil. A lady devotee, she brought her younger daughter to our monastery in Sao Paulo. In Sao Paulo, when both of them they came, and mother told to the daughter to pay the respects. And she's from Brazil, Southern America. Cultural reference also is there. She said, fine. Who are they? Why should I bow down to them? Oh, they are God. When the mother was shown towards Sri Ramakrishna's portrait and said, he's a God, so you have to bow down. She said, with all maybe simplicity, how can he be God? He doesn't have even basic decency. How can he be God? Mother was a bit furious, and she was also feeling uneasy. And she said, what do you mean by that? No, he has not, wore his proper even garments. He's half naked. How can you call him as a God? So her understanding means some decency should be there. We should be fully covered with our body and all, etc. Then, mother tried to explain why he's in half naked, why Sri Ramakrishna is not wearing any upper garment, and Indian cultural context, some things and all. After discussing, somewhat she accepted, but not completely. Like this, every one of us, we have got a different understandings about the God. That's where sometimes we get struck in our spiritual life also. With this, the scriptural justification is given by Gita, by Sri Krishna in the Gita is Janma karma cha me divyam evam yovetti tattvataha tektva deham punar janma naiti ma meti sorjuna. Janma karma cha me divyam. My janma, my birth, and karma, my actions are divine in nature. We all take birth because of our prarabdha karma, because the actions what we have done in the previous lives, because of that we have taken birth. Now, I don't want to take birth. I have got actions, results, prarabdha karma, but I'm not interested in taking birth if we say it is not, we don't have a choice. We have to take birth till emancipation. Whereas with the gods, they have got a choice whether to take birth or not. Then why did they take birth? Because to for the spiritual mission, for special mission. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattva. One who understands thus the divine nature or the divine secret behind the birth and the behind the mission or the activities of the god or incarnation, what happens? Tektva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. O Arjuna, such a person, after his leaving his body, he will be no more having a birth, means he will be liberated soul. He will get nirvana, he will attain kaivalya. So, understanding the God's actions, the secret behind it, by understanding what happens, we will be liberated. That is the highest point. And apart from that, if our quality of spiritual life, our quality of meditation, quality of spiritual practice has to be deepened or is to be improved, understanding the God, understanding the spiritual life, and the path which we are taking is most essential. So, keeping this all these things in the mind, Swami Shardanji has discussed the Sri Ramakrishna's life in detail, in depth, keeping the history and as well as the scriptures as a background. Now, all this introduction actually is giving to the Guru Bhava, which we'll be discussing from the next class probably. Now, Sri Ramakrishna was a world teacher. Sri Ramakrishna was able to guide the people, and Sri Ramakrishna is known as world teacher or a guru. How? Why? So, what was his mental state? Because of the ego, one can take the what do you say, the notion of the leadership or the guru bhava. Someone have got a lot of experience. Because of that, one can take the guru. And from what angle or from what state of mind Sri Ramakrishna guided the his disciples or guided the mankind is very interesting actually. To study that, Swami Shardanji is creating the base, scriptural base for all of us. Now, bhava we had discussed about, and today probably we'll be discussing about the samadhi. Samadhi is also like concentration or transcendental experience. Now, Sri Ramakrishna experienced Nirvikalpa Samadhi. The Nirvikalpa Samadhi is the concept originally from Vedanta, and it is also seen in the yoga also. So, in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, what happens actually? There, the experience, and the experienced, all three gets merged or dissolved. For an example, now I'm talking or I'm eating an ice cream. The ice cream is an object of experience, and I am the experiencer, and I'm enjoying the ice cream. That joy is what the action is, what experience. Now, say I'm enjoying the ice cream, and myself, I got completely forgot myself in the eating ice cream. Then what happens? There will be no experiencer, experience, and experienced. Probably I'll give one more example. You'll be able to understand. We are watching a television. There's an interesting horror movie or maybe what do you say, CBI, CID, detective movies. So there's a very interesting incident, and I'm seeing I've carried over from that incident in the movie. I'm just watching the movie. There was a beep sound from a mobile because I've got some message, but I didn't hear. The sound went to my ear and it went and reached the brain also, but there was no reaction. Why? My mind was completely detached from that and it was completely fixed in the TV. And the horror screen was is getting displayed or played on the TV screen, and I'm watching it and I've lost myself. I've lost the surroundings, the awareness of the surroundings. I was completely immersed in that. So similarly, in this Nirvikalpa Samadhi, when I sit for meditation, I feel that I've got a body. I may feel headache, I may feel knee pain or leg pain or whatever. Or I may feel that my mind is wandering, or I'm able to meditate, or I'm able to concentrate on the object of meditation. This is what happens. But in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, all these dualities ceases to exist. Only the experiencer he stays. Only the experiencer will be there. Our pure awareness will be there. This is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Now, from Vedanta point of view, because Sri Ramakrishna mentions all these things, Sri Ramakrishna mentions, interestingly, the seven planes of existence. Now, when we understand all this technically, Sri Ramakrishna's simple teachings, they are no doubt, but behind that, how much scriptural or philosophical base is there, one can understand, and how much there is a depthness in his teachings and in his experience, you'll be able to understand or you'll be able to appreciate. Now, Sri Ramakrishna speaks the seven planes of existence, or the seven Sapta Pragna, we can say. And interestingly, this we can see in Varaha Upanishad, which is a part of Vedas, and this also can be seen in the Yoga Vasishta. So the first plane, the first bhumika or the plane, they say that the first plane is marks the ultimacy of the sadhaka's knowledge. Means here he or she doesn't feel anything is required. That is called shubhecha, or sincere desire from the Varaha Upanishad. Here he thinks sincerely that I would like to know my real nature. I would like to experience the nature of the God, experience the God. So he's well established in that. He has got an intense desire for liberation, shubhecha, we can say. And this is the first strain of existence. And the second plane where he is established that I doesn't need anything else. I want God and God alone, or I want the self and self alone. And he has given up the God, given up the world completely. When I say given up the world completely means he has renounced the desires for the worldly pleasures. This is called vicharana. That is, he's inclined towards the good conduct and is inclined towards the God realization or self realization alone. He doesn't want anything else. That is his firm faith, firm conviction, and is able to put into action. Means he is not really bothered about the worldly desires, worldly pleasures, or whatever. This is the second plane of existence. Now, the third plane, when the sadhaka reaches, he is successfully achieved the detachment. He has successfully achieved the detachment. That is called tanu manasi, attenuation of the mind, basically. And the fourth state of mind, or the fourth plane, it is called fourth plane, where he attains viveka khyati. That is called sattvapatti. Sattvapatti means here he is completely, his mind is completely dominated by sattva. Very maybe 1 or 2% of tamas, 1 or 2% of rajas will be there. His mind is completely covered by the sattva alone. Means he desired for knowledge, he desired for meditation, he desired for God and God alone. He doesn't desire for anything else. Completely his mind is covered with the sattva. Now the fifth state, or the fifth plane, is where asamsakti. Asamsakti is like non-attachment, where he is going beyond all the good and bad, basically. This is what the fifth plane. And one more scripture says that here his mind is gone beyond the sorrows born of desires, impulses, and everything. Things may change, things may happen, so many things, but his mind is not disturbed from any of them. This is what the fifth state. The sixth plane of existence is Padartha Bhavana. Padartha Bhavana means he is aware of the objects. He is aware of the objects is not intellectually, it is like it is because of the experience. Means, like for example, when I take the wooden table. What is this wooden table? A wooden table is nothing but it is a piece of wood, and it has been cut in a particular shape, and it has been assembled wooden shape. And when I ask you to go deep, then we say got molecules, then we can say atoms, protons, neutrons, energy, and so on and so forth. But still, I cannot say that I have got a complete knowledge here. Now, the person one who goes to Padartha Bhavana, this whole world is made up of either Trigunatmika Prakriti, that is Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, or it is called Panchabhutas, 5 elements. The whole world is made up of. So you'll be able to go to that source, and from which the whole world is made up of, you'll be able to understand, and will be able to experience. Then the seventh stage, where according to the Sankhya, the Purusha and Prakriti get separated. The Purusha and Prakriti get separated, like I am the Purusha, and this body, mind, and all the actions and this world, everything belongs to Prakriti. So I am separate from the Prakriti. That is called Turyaga. Or Turya, we can say in the Mandukya Upanishad, we also say Turya. So in the Sankhya, it is called seventh plane of existence, where the Purusha and Prakriti get separated. In the Nirvikalpa Samadhi is what? In this seventh plane of existence, or Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Now, when I mention all these things, definitely we may think that, oh, this becomes too difficult or too technical and it is going above the head. That's the one side. The other side, you see, our sadhus or our yogis or spiritual aspirants, they have made the experiment in all these things and they have achieved, and it has been recorded a few thousands of years before in the Indian scriptures. So many times people say that, oh, in the Western thought or in the Western wisdom, everything they record. And Indians are not good at recording the experiences and whatever. So, but when we read the scriptures, we can understand very clearly how the mental states of existence has been progress, and what are the experiences and what we achieve. Everything has been discussed. Now, before going to that, just I will mention and I will go to the incidents. And in this samadhi, from the yoga point of view, because Sri Ramakrishna mentions that there are actually, at a broad canvas, there are two types of samadhi. One is sampragnata samadhi, the other is asampragnata samadhi. And sampragnata and asampragnata, among them again, sabija nirbija, savitarka nirvitarka, savichara nirvichara, sananda and sasmita. There are few other subcategories in all of them. We will try to discuss after some time. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, he took monastic vows from his guru called Totapuri. Totapuri was a naked person, was a naked almost, or used to wear only lion cloth sometimes. And for 40 years, he did intense tapas, intense spiritual practices. After 40 years, he attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And Totapuri once, he came to Dakshineshwar. When he came and he was sitting in the temple complex, Dakshineshwar, Totapuri observed or saw Sri Ramakrishna. When he saw Sri Ramakrishna's face, immediately understood he is the right person to practice Advaita Vedanta, which is technically called Adhikari. He is fit, is a right candidate to practice Advaita Vedanta. So when a guru finds when a teacher finds a right candidate, right student, he'll be happiest person. Similarly, Totapuri felt very happy. He approached himself to Ramakrishna and he asked, you are a fit person to study, to practice Vedanta. To practice Vedanta means to experience the Brahman. So will you mind? I can teach you. And Sri Ramakrishna, with all his child nature, simplicity, said, I don't know anything. Only my mother knows. If my mother says, okay, I will do that. I will do this, or I will listen to you. So Totapuri thought probably mother means his biological mother. Then Totapuri said, okay, you go to your mother and ask her come. Then Sri Ramakrishna went inside the Dakshineshwar temple complex and he asked her, just like we converse with our family members or people, in that way, he started conversing with the Divine Mother. Mother, Nangta used to say, because naked ones. A naked ones has come and he's telling that he wants to teach Vedanta for me, Advaita Vedanta, it seems. I don't know anything. What is your idea or what is your command to me? And Divine Mother says, yes, for you alone, I have brought him here. So go on, get the instructions from him and do the spiritual practice. Then Sri Ramakrishna comes and he tells to Totapuri that, okay, mother has said, yes, I can do that, it seems. So whatever you are teaching, I would like to take that. Then Totapuri says, okay, I want to give sannyas for you, monastic vows. Are you ready? Sri Ramakrishna says, yes, I'm ready. I have no problem. But I have got only one condition. One problem or condition. What is that? I have my mother, aged biological mother. Here, mother is biological mother. Aged biological mother. When I was young once, when I was serving monks, they dressed me like a monk, wearing the ash on my body and wearing a lion cloth, and they sent me with that monk dress. By that alone, my mother felt so much bad and she stopped me to go near monks. And now she's old. I don't want to make her feel bad. No, if you can give me Gupta sannyas, I have no problem. Means I will not be wearing ochre robes and whatever the danda kamandalo etc is there. All these things I don't do it. But whatever the monastic vows are there, I am ready to follow. And Totapuri laughs at it and he says, "Oh, for you, that is all not required. Whether you wear a white color cloth or ochre color or any other color, it doesn't make any sense because you are a advanced person." Then secretly it was arranged, and one evening, he was initiated into monastic vows, that is Advaita Sampradaya. Then he gave a Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, and he asked him to meditate. Then he started meditating. Now, all of us, we know that when we are asked to meditate for some time, okay, 5-10 minutes or 15-20 minutes, then we'll start feeling that our legs are paining. We may change our legs, our body we may be shaken, or our mind may do world tour, or we feel it is enough and we get up and etc. So basically, for us, concentration is a main issue. Sri Ramakrishna also had one issue. What was the issue? For us, concentration is an issue, or my work can become an issue, or I have got some desire can become an issue, or I may doze off, sleep, I may sleep off in the meditation. That can be one of the issue. So for us ordinary mortals, so there can be many issues, or there can be one issue which is very stronger. And Sri Ramakrishna also had one issue. What was the issue? Sri Ramakrishna was when he sit for meditation, because Totapuri had asked him to meditate on the Brahman, on the consciousness. So which is a supreme self, which is devoid of name and form. So he was supposed to do Advaitic meditation, contemplation. He had only one problem with that. The problem was Mother Kali. His mind was so much obsessed with the mother, the divine mother Kali, her name and form. How much ever he is trying, he is unable to forget, he is unable to go beyond this name and form. Name and form of whom? Name and form of Mother Kali. He tried once, he tried twice, he tried thrice or few times, and afterwards he said, I cannot do. I'm not able to do. Totapri got angry and annoyed and said, what? I thought you were a fit person for Advaita Vedanta, and you are saying it is not possible. What do you mean by this? Sri Ramakrishna said, yes, I am not able to do it. What is your problem? Whenever I sit for meditation and to do this Advaitic meditation, whatever you taught me, I've got the problem is Divine Mother Kali is coming in front of me. Then he was a bit angry or whatever. Then he saw here nearby, there was a small glass piece. He took a glass piece and he pressed it in between the eyebrows, which is called Agna Chakra. He pressed in the eyebrows. He said, now you concentrate on that. He started concentrating in between the eyebrows, which is called Agna Chakra, on that pain or the prick. Slowly. When he started doing that, when his Guru Adesha, when he was started doing that Agna Chakra, when he's meditating on the Agna Chakra, slowly he started getting feeling that he took the Gnana Khadga, means the knowledge of the sword, and he cut the pieces of Mother Kali. Mentally, I mean to say, mentally. So his mind traveled, his mind crossed over the name and form, and he experienced Nirvikalpa Samadhi. His guru was angry, annoyed. He took the glass piece and he pricked it, and you said, you concentrate on now and let us see. But in no time, he lost his external consciousness and he has merged himself in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Now Totapuri was dumbfounded. What? It took for me 40 years to have this Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and the disciple is so fit, no doubt, but in no time, in just 3 days, he is able to experience the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. He was very happy and he was astonished, he was dumbfounded, and he went near to him and he observed his body parts, external body parts and his face and all. He made sure that yes, he's experiencing the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. He was very happy. He came out in the, it was a hut actually in the Dakshineshwar. He came out, he closed the hut door and he was sitting outside so that no one will come and disturb. Like this, 3 days over, Sri Ramakrishna didn't come. Then he started chanting few mantras. After chanting few mantras, Sri Ramakrishna's mind came down. And Sri Ramakrishna said it was a beautiful experience. But Totapuri was really astonished. And Totapuri, he was a very strict monk, and he was a Parivrajaka. He was a Parivrajaka means generally they are supposed to, for more than 3 days, they're not supposed to stay in one place. And all the while, this Totapuri had managed himself as a pontiff of an ashram, uh, but still, more than 3 days, he never stayed anywhere except his monastery. But in Dakshineshwar, he stayed for 11 months actually, because he was so much what you say drawn towards Sri Ramakrishna. He stayed there in his whole lifetime. First time he broke his vow. And apart from the staying with him, and Sri Ramakrishna completed his guru's knowledge that he was unable to understand and accept mother. He was hardcore Advaita Vedantin, so he never used to accept worship, he never used to accept image worship and all these things. But with the Sri Ramakrishna's company, slowly understood, and he accepted, and his knowledge got complete. And Totapuri was grateful to his disciple Sri Ramakrishna. Totapuri left. Now, and but Sri Ramakrishna's desire, so is the desire, the whole his sadhana is getting culminated now. So Sri Ramakrishna's, there was an intense desire for him to experience that Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And he sat in the Panchavati, and in no time his mind got fixed in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And as the narration goes like this, sometime knowingly or unknowingly, his mouth used to be open, and the flies and other things used to come and go. And all his ears get wrinkled because of continuous time. And the birds and used to come and sit like just like it's an inert object, thinking that the birds used to come and sit and they used to make some sounds and or whatever. Means basically Sri Ramakrishna had completely lost his body consciousness and he was in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. As Sri Ramakrishna himself said, one of the monk, the Bairagi, he knew about all these things. He stayed those times. Who is that? We don't know. Sri Ramakrishna also didn't know who is that. That monk stayed there for all the time, that 6 months, and he used to, pull Sri Ramakrishna's body or shake his body, and he used to beat even sometimes, so that Sri Ramakrishna's mind used to come bit little down. Then he used to open his mouth and he used to forcefully used to throw some food into his mouth, so that Sri Ramakrishna can retain his body. So Sri Ramakrishna says that acknowledges, if that sadhu would not have been there at that time, I would not have stayed back. Means this body would not have lasted long. Because in a normal time, what happens for normal people, once when it goes to Agna Chakra, generally, once it goes little above, which is Sahasrara, in 21 days, they'll be having experience and they leave the body. Once it goes to Sahasrara, you cannot come back for a common people, but only in great people like Avatara Purushas or Ishvara Kotis, only even if they go to Sahasrara, they can come back, which we have seen in Swami Vivekananda's life also. So in the 6 months, he experienced Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And after 6 months, at the end of 6 months, mother said, stay in Bhavamukha. And now, it was a beautiful state, Bhavamukha, source of existence. Already I've discussed all these things. So now he's in Bhavamukha, fine. Now to do his mission, spiritual mission or avatara karya, his mind has to come bit down. His mind is not coming down. We have got a problem, our mind doesn't go above. And he has got a problem, his mind is not coming down. Now, for that, probably it is a mother's grace or whatever, he had immediately, because of the Nirvikalpa Samadhi for staying long time, how the Bhava can affect the body also, he had a blood dysentery, severe dysentery. And 1 day, 2 day dysentery, or even once or twice dysentery happens, that can enough to shake our mind, that is enough to take away our mind from meditation, from God, spiritual practice, etc., etc. But Sri Ramakrishna, for 1 or 2 or 3 days it happened, but still his mind didn't come down. For 6 months, he had a dysentery. Imagine. Now the logic may come. For 6 months, he had a dysentery and still his body lasted. How is it possible? I think, yes, it is a beyond logic. So 6 months, he had a blood dysentery or dysentery. After that only, his mind came down. Now, interesting fact is, his mind was so much soaked in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, in the consciousness, never mind. But 6 months of dysentery or some health issue, because of that only, his mind came down bit, and where he was able to talk with people, he was able to converse with people. Now we can imagine what would have been the mind state or the mental state of Sri Ramakrishna. His mind was always soaked in that consciousness. I think when he's from Nepal actually. He was Captain Vishwanath. He reminiscences saying that during those days hardly people used to come to Sri Ramakrishna, or Sri Ramakrishna was not known. I have seen Sri Ramakrishna days after days he used to merge himself in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. To see him was quite a quite a sight to see. And bringing him down was very difficult. And I used to apply ghee on his back, and I used to press so much so that once in a while his mind used to come down. And in no time, his mind used to soar high towards Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Now, coming to Nirvikalpa Samadhi, before Nirvikalpa Samadhi, there are different stages of Nirvikalpa Samadhi actually. So, probably I would like to explain now. Now, Samadhi generally it is, like I said, experience, where it is just an awareness. Which is Asampragnata Samadhi and Sampragnata Samadhi are the two types of Samadhi, which is all discussed detail in the Samadhi Pada, first chapter in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Now, in this first type of Samadhi is called Sampragnata Samadhi. Now, Sampragnata Samadhi also has got four types. One is Vitarka, Vichara, Sananda, and Sasmita. Okay. Now, in Sampragnata Samadhi, in Savitarka. So, Samadhi has got two things, Sampragnata and Asampragnata. Now, I have taken Sampragnata. In Sampragnata, there are four classifications. Vitarka, Vichara, Sananda, and Sasmita. And in the Vitarka, there are again two subclasses, Savitarka and Nirvitarka, I am taking. In Savitarka, the general mental modifications will be going on, no doubt. That is called Vruttis actually. But identification with the object, it becomes deepens actually. So, like you can say, I had a very good meditation today. In the meditation, I was able to think about the object of meditation for a good amount of time. We were aware of few other thoughts. We were aware of the surroundings, but still, more or less, we were able to concentrate on the object of meditation. So, roughly or crudely saying, this can be considered as Savitarka Samadhi. Now, in the Nirvitarka Samadhi, Nir means without actually. So, Nirvitarka Samadhi, what happens actually, the mental modifications gets lessened. Now, I am saying, for an example, I am thinking, I'm doing meditation with a japa like Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Here I am using the word called Om Namah Shivaya, syllables, and corresponding sound is there and corresponding object is there. So my mind is getting connected and deconnected all the time with the sound and with the words and with the object of meditation. This is what happens actually with us. Or when I'm meditating on Sri Ramakrishna, I'm meditating on Sri Ramakrishna, the form and the object of meditation and the meditator and the process, all these things I'll be aware more or less. But in Nirvitarka Samadhi, what happens? My mind doesn't bother about the sound, my mind doesn't bother about the surroundings or whatever. Rather, it is not aware. It is more aware, or it is most aware about the object of meditation itself. So basically, or other way I can tell that the meditation gets deepened in the Nirvitarka Samadhi, whereas all the dualities subsides. Okay. Now I'm telling these things, it needs a deeper understanding. Just I am doing the oversimplification of these concepts. The second type is called Vichara. Again, Vichara has got two classifications, Savichara and Nirvichara. In Savichara, what happens? The object of meditation becomes much more subtle actually. And when you go on doing the meditation in the Savichara Samadhi, what happens? Your understanding of the concept of meditation or the understanding of the object of meditation becomes so much so subtle actually. And in the Nirvitarka, Nirvichara Samadhi, what happens? Your tamas and rajas goes to the larger extent, goes died out or diminished or suppressed, and sattva elements becomes very, more predominant in nature, and you'll be able to understand the whole world is made up of Trigunatmika Prakriti, are the three qualities which is called sattva, rajas, and tamas. So basically, the subtle part of the universe, or the subtle part by which the whole universe is made up of, you will be able to understand. This is called the power, I used to say. Then, after Nirvichara, the mind goes more and more deepening. Then Sananda, There again, the object of meditation are the world and the sattva rajas tamas. Nothing is there. Only you will be aware of the happiness actually. That is called sananda, sa ananda. So you are aware of just ananda or the bliss, or you are experiencing that ananda, but still you are the experiencer, and the ananda, the object of experience, which is called ananda, that is there, no doubt. But the world and the objects and the physical objects, subtle objects, all these things will be diminished for you, and you are aware of only ananda. That is what called sananda samadhi. And the one more thing, when you go that, there'll be very fine difference, or just there'll be thin layer between purusha and prakriti. That is the fourth stage in sapragnata samadhi. So when you go deeply, actually this bhavamukha, where it comes, ecstasy, where it comes, all these things you will be able to understand. After this, that's called viveka khyati, suppressing, then there will be no more thought. That is called asampragnata samadhi. In sampragnata samadhi, now these four stages, slowly the vrittis gets reduced, and at least only one vritti will be there, either subtle, in the subtle way. But when it comes to asampragnata samadhi, even that one thought or one vritti is also suppressed, and all your samskaras will be burnt out, so that no more desires, no more thoughts, and there your mind stops acting. When the mind stops acting, what happens according to the Sankhya and Patanjali, the because of the no mind, then what happens, your purusha and prakriti gets separated. Like I am thinking, I am a body, I am a mind, I am though and so this, because of the misidentification or ajnana. So when we go to that asampragnata samadhi, where the purusha and prakriti gets separated, and I understand that I am the purusha and not the prakriti, and the whole world is made up of prakriti, and I am different from that. Or you can say that I have a body, no doubt. This body, this mind, and thoughts, and emotions, and the desires, everything belongs to this Prakriti, and I am the Purusha, and I have no relationship, or I have nothing to do with the Prakriti. This is what the state we are under. Again, it's all understanding for us now, but for him, the person who attains this Asampragnata Samadhi, it becomes the matter of experience, and it is the matter of fact. Now, all these things, interestingly, Sri Ramakrishna mentions in his Lila Prasanga. Now, Sri Ramakrishna enjoyed his samadhi and bhavamukha, 6 months of dysentery and all. His mind came down, and all now we know. And interestingly, this because of samadhi, one more interesting point the Swami Shardananji brings of Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini Yoga is a special force, you know that. So there are different type of bandha and pranayama and different type of yogic sadhanas in Ganda Verunda Samhita and all. They mention about that. By doing that, one can awaken the Kundalini, and it can reach us the Sahasrara. One can experience the Brahman, or one can experience the Purusha Jnana. Now, interestingly, this is the contribution of Sri Ramakrishna and as well as Swami Shardananji, saying that by devotion, by practicing devotion, how one can have the Kundalini Shakti awakening. Awakening of Kundalini Shakti has been told beautifully by Swami Shardananji. How? He says that bhava. Bhava is an attitude. Now, I've got an attitude towards people. Is friend, is an enemy, is a neutral person, is a good person, is a wrong person, or is a kind person, is XYZ. We have got impressions of the people. Now, this bhava, because of this bhava and understanding and of this bhava, we will create relationships. And because of that, all our transactions are going on, and this bhava creates lot of impressions which are called samskaras in our mind. The sum and total of our character is nothing but these impressions are the samskaras. Now, when the samskaras are becoming more and more refined, means it is becoming more and more pure, or instead of worldly, it is becoming spiritual in nature. That's called bhava samshuddhi in the Bhagavad Gita. When there's a purification of the bhava thoughts, that means purification of impressions happens. Because of that, what happens? Your Kundalini Shakti gets awakened, and your mind, or through the Sushumna, it can go and reach the Sahasrara. So for that, 5 types of bhava: dasya bhava, sakya bhava, shanta bhava, then madhura bhava, then the one more bhava. These 5 bhavas by which one can reach God, one can experience the God. That Sorry, Vatsalya Bhava. Yes, thank you. So these five bhavas by which one can experience the God we know. Now Swami Shardanji is saying that either one or two or all of these bhavas, one can awaken the Kundalini and one can reach the seventh state of existence or the Sahasrara. That is again interesting thing which has been told by Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Shardanji. And a few other things are there. Probably I will not go to the details now. Interestingly, when the Kundalini Shakti gets awakened, Sushumna, from Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Agna, Vishuddha, Sahasrara, all these chakras, we know that. Now, this Kundalini gets awakened, what happens? Sri Ramakrishna beautifully explains all these things. The first three, the spine and the navel and below one. So all the genitals in these three places, Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipura, for example. So this Kundalini Shakti, if it is going and coming, going above and coming below, all these three things will be happening. For such a person, he will be always obsessed with the worldly pleasures, is bothered about the world and the worldly pleasures and the sense gratification and all these things. And the mind even goes to the above chakras, and it no time it comes down. But when it comes to anahata is what the heart. It is not exactly physical heart, spiritual heart. So that place is called the fourth center, which is called anahata. When your Kundalini Shakti awakens there, you will experience the divine light, and you will experience the God with form. Now we are asking, when our gurus ask us to meditate, we try to meditate, we try to imagine that God is there in that spiritual heart. It is an imagination for us now. But when some persons, because of his sadhana and pure life, when his kundalini goes to anahata, that is the spiritual heart, he will have the vision of the light, or he will have the vision of the God with full divine form, with all splendors, and will be able to experience the presence of the God with form, or without form, which is light, based on his sadhana. Until if it goes also, it goes down. Then the next comes, that is the Vishuddha. When Vishuddha goes, what happens? The spiritual experience, you are aware of the consciousness, you are aware of the God's presence and all, and you don't like to speak anything else except spirituality, except God related things. You can't discuss anything worldly matters, mundane matters. That's what we can see in the Sri Ramakrishna's life. When any people used to discuss about worldly matters, used to feel terrified. He used to feel burning sensation and used to run away from that place. Why? Because of the Kundalini Shakti awakening. Until Vishuddha, the Kundalini Shakti gets awakened, even if we don't manage our pure life, maintain our spiritual disciplines, it can come down. But when it goes to, the Agna Chakra, that is between eyebrows, more or less, this place, there you'll be able to understand that the whole world is like dream, or it is made up of energy or consciousness, and that consciousness and consciousness alone exist, he understands. When you go to Anahata Chakra, generally coming down completely is not there, or it may come to Vishuddha, that's all, but otherwise it is in Agna. From there, it is very little, in 21 days. When you go there, there will be very thin layer of separation, or very proximity, you'll be able to see the God or Brahman, they say that, and in no time the Kundalini Shakti goes to Sahasrara and he will experience the God. And how the Kundalini Shakti moves, also Sri Ramakrishna has told based on his experience. So he has told that for some sadhakas, because he has got all this experience, sometimes this Kundalini Shakti awakened and it used to travel like an ant, and how it travels. So in the similar form, in the similar way, I used to experience that the Kundalini Shakti used to get awakened, and used to go above one after another chakra, one after another planes of existence in the form of ant. And all these things are available in scriptures also, and Sri Ramakrishna also certifies it, that he had an experience like sometimes like a frog. Just like frog jumps from one place to another, it makes one or two leaps and it stays for a fraction of moment, and again takes one or two, three leaps, and again it stays, and again it takes leaps. Like that, his Kundalini Shakti was also getting aroused, and he used to feel that just like a frog, it is jumping. And sometimes he had also an experience like bird again, like with a flying, it goes, and with again it makes its wings flat, and it stays some time and it flies further, and similar experience he had. And sometimes his Kundalini Shakti awakening was like a serpent. Serpent, what happens? It does. It goes. I mean, it goes in a zigzag manner, and somewhere it stays, and it gets coiled, and again it unfolds, and it goes in a zigzag manner. So, however, the snake goes, even in that fashion, the Kundalini Shakti was awakening in the Sushumna canal, was being experienced, all these things. And sometimes monkey just like it hops from one branch to the another, and it rests for some while, and again it jumps. So even the Kundalini Shakti was jumping like a monkey. Now, when you hear all these things, sometimes it looks very funny, first point. And second thing is the Kundalini Shakti awakening and spiritual experiences or esoteric experiences. We hear all that, or we read in the Yoga Sutras, we read in scriptural texts, like I said, Varaha Upanishad we can see, and the Yoga Vasishta we can see, and few other Yoga Upanishads we can see. When we read all these things, we feel that probably it is an imagination. I don't think, or how can it possible, or whether is it really possible? We may get a doubt, we may get a question. When we go and talk with the people, they may give a sermon. But now, Sri Ramakrishna is certifying them based on his experience. Now we say, Stapakaya cha dharmasya. He established the dharma. How he established religion? By practicing the age-old practices which has been mentioned in the scriptures. He made his life a spiritual laboratory. He made all that spiritual sadhanas himself experienced, and afterwards he said, yes, all of them, whatever you see in the Vedas or Upanishads or in the Puranas or in the Yoga Sutras, all these things are true and they are experienceable even today. So he showed the people or the mankind the scriptures are true indeed and one can practice. So this is what we can see in his Kundalini Shakti experience and all. And afterwards he tells beautifully, and he discusses about the 6 types of existence and different type of samadhis, all these things he explains. And when it goes to Tattvamasi, what happens? He says that. And he tells that, I want to tell what is my experience when it goes to beyond Agna, but I am not able to tell because my mother is not telling. My mother is Mother Kali, is not allowing me to tell. Whoever has read Gospel and Leela Prasanga, that is Divine Master, we all know that. Now you see, again, the uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna, how beautifully he is telling. He says that whatever is till Vishuddha, I am able to tell. When it goes to Agna, he is trying to tell but is not able to. And what happens in Sahasrara, he wants to tell and is unable to tell. Why? Because mother is holding his throat. Again, it's a figurative usage. Because when you go above the Agna, what happens? Your mind ceases to exist. Your mind becomes inactive. Your mind becomes dormant or inactive. When your mind becomes inactive, then you cannot say experience what it is actually, technically speaking, rationally speaking, or philosophically speaking. But instead of using all that rational philosophy and all, is just like a figuratively is telling that the Mother Kali or my mother is holding my throat and she is not allowing me to describe or narrate my experiences. This is the greatness and the uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna's teachings. So when we have studied Upanishads, when we study Yoga Sutras and all these things, when we read his teachings, then we'll be able to understand. We'll be able to understand how deep his teachings are. And probably one more thing I would like to tell is what Sri Ramakrishna tells that we have to tie the Advaita Vedanta in the corner of our cloth and we have to live in the world and we have to work. Whoever has read teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, you'll be able to remember. Tie the Advaita Vedanta in the corner of your cloth and you live in the world or you work. How can we do? Advaita Vedanta is a principle or it is a system of a thought, a school of philosophy. How can you tie in the Oh, probably Advaita Vedanta textbook should we tie in the corner of the cloth? No. What does it mean? He really is what? He experienced the self and keeping that experience in our background, then start working in the world. Then what happens? The falling or going down in the world or going down in the spiritual life and leading the what do you say, immoral life and etc. will not be there. Because why? Because you know what is truth and you have experienced the truth. So all his teachings are based on his experience. So when you understand all his bhava and his samadhi experience and the different types of various experience darshanas he had, based on that, when you read his life and his teachings, you'll be able to understand things in better. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. And even maybe like once, I mean, when he had a throat cancer, he was not able to take the food, and his disciples say that, why don't you ask Mother Kali so that she can allow, so that you can eat something? Though he was not interested, he said no, no. But the disciples forced. Then he went and asked Mother. Children are asking, disciples are asking, please, can you make some arrangements? I means, please, you can do something so that I can eat, because he had a throat cancer. Then he says that mother scolded me. You are eating through so many mouths. Still, why do you want to eat with your own mouth? And I felt ashamed and I had put my head down because of you rascals. Next time onwards, I will not listen to you and all. He tells in a very joking way. Again, it's a figurative usage you see here. Now, his Advaitic experience is able to tell beautifully. Now, in the Purusha Sukta, when we chant Sahasra Ishra, Purusha, Sahasraksha, Sahasrapath, God has got 1,000 eyes, 1,000 hands, 1,000 legs. What does it mean? Means God is there everywhere, or the consciousness or the Brahman is everywhere. So whether I am eating or X eating, Y eating, Z eating from the body, it is separate, we feel. But when we reach that Nirvikalpa Samadhi, when we experience that Nirvikalpa Samadhi, we have got united completely ourselves with that Brahman, and there cannot be no dualities actually. So that again, it is the wonderful experience or wonderful teaching of non-Advaita in a simple story Sri Ramakrishna tells. And like this, a few other examples also I can tell probably, maybe sometime